Pat Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
Great to have you with us. Great to be back. Hope your holiday season was great. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. I hope all of that occurred for you and yours. And it's fantastic to be back. Frankly, about 3 days into it, I was ready to come right back. Yeah, I'd say about Monday of vacation. I was ready to come back. 888-900-3393 is the number if you've forgotten and you'd like to participate in the show. I don't even know where to begin. There's just so much. There is so much stuff from over the break and that occurred over the weekend and that is going on right this second. We had a nasty cold front come into Texas. Finally, for the really kind of the first time. I mean, it's been a little bit chilly before, once or twice, 2 or 3 days.
Yeah, I love it.
But wow, it got cold on Saturday. Saturday, it started out, what was it, 70, 72, 73 degrees?
Yeah.
Within just a few minutes.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was 30s, in the 30s.
Yeah.
At my house, it was 37.
I think it went from 72 to 38 at my place in just over a couple hours.
Crazy.
Yeah, and I told my son, meet me in the front yard at 3 o'clock. We're going to put the stuff down on the plants, so they don't freeze with the shock.
Yeah.
No, I didn't have time. 2:30, man, whoosh. We're out there in short sleeves and T-shirt, and before we finished up, man, we got pants on. We're like, this sucks.
Yeah.
No, it was violent. I loved it, though.
I love it, too. I love it. It would have been nice to have it on Christmas, except, unfortunately, on Christmas, it was, 84? 85?
It was not pleasant.
Man. So, such is life in Texas.
Yeah, we got down to 15 at my place, and that of course is
15.
Yeah. That's nothing like they played they do the NHL Winter Classic every year, and this year it was in Minneapolis, where I believe the game time temperature outdoor there was -8.
Wow.
With a wind chill of
anybody show up for it?
-25. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Crowd, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jeez.
But that was nasty.
I showed up for the the terrible
I thought
Independence
of you,
Bowl in
bro.
Shreveport. Oh my God.
I didn't even bring it up off the air.
What a time to decide. Okay, yeah, we're going to this game.
Oh God.
Why would you ever do that? Why, in retrospect, it's Shreveport, Louisiana.
That's all I could think was.
That is thing one.
Yep.
Thing two was, after, being in the 80s,
Yeah.
this is one of the very few times we got a little cold snap.
Yeah.
But it was this miserable, driving rain. I mean, it was continuous, just driving rain in your face, and we were soaking wet.
Oh, God.
And there was a really cold wind, and it was about 48 degrees, and it felt like about 4 degrees.
I was,
and then they lost on top of it.
I mean, seriously.
What a horrible.
I watched that game.
Jeez, what
and
a
all
bad
I could
game.
think was, there's not a lot of people in the stands. I wonder if I'll see Pat.
That's the other thing.
Miserable out there.
That's the other thing. Like, it was almost sold out, and nobody showed up for it. They were the smart ones, because kind of wish we hadn't gone. I mean, we had a good time. It was fun, but it was miserable fun.
Yeah.
If that makes, and it doesn't make any sense, but that's kind of how I would describe it.
And so many good people died over the 2 weeks we were out as well.
Oh, yeah.
With John Madden, Betty White, Dan Reeves,
Harry Reid.
I said good people.
Oh, that's right. Yes, that's right. You did say that.
My gosh, you had Sam Joe. I mean, it's like so many just good.
It's so weird. I was just reading about Betty White and how she was about to celebrate her 100th birthday.
Yeah, People magazine jinxed it.
Yeah. And then right after that article, she died. It's like, wait, what? Did People magazine kill her so that she couldn't get to where she was going? She really thought she was going to make it to 100. And she was talking about how...
January 17th.
Yeah. And I think she said it was positive living or something, and she was going to keep that going. No, apparently not. Too bad. Really sad.
There's a rumor out there, and I don't have the print version. The rumor is that in the print version, it mentions something about vaccines, as one of the keys to living. But I don't know I haven't substantiated that. So anyway, that's the big rumor going around with Betty White and
that she died from the vaccine.
No, that one of her keys to healthy living was
vaccines.
Yeah, but
okay,
I don't know.
I don't think she said that.
Like, that seems like a weird thing to say.
Yeah, I don't you don't have that in the article.
People magazine. Well, no, and then so part of that rumor was that they took that part out when they repost. I have not substantiated this whatsoever, but I know that you're waiting for the People magazine subscription to arrive at your place.
Yes,
right?
yeah,
because you that and Us Weekly. You're a big reader of that.
Huge, and In Style magazine.
Don't be ridiculous.
People and Us. Yeah, love them.
Don't
love
believe
them.
you.
No, I don't even wait for the In Style swimsuit edition. I get it all year round. All year round. Comes right to my door.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Does anybody subscribe to magazines anymore? Anybody?
Did you see the John Madden special on Christmas Day? And how weird was that to see that? It was so good. And then literally just a few days later, we get the news that he passes away.
Yeah.
That if you haven't had a chance to watch the John Madden special, it's touching. It's good stuff.
I have to check that out. I did not see that.
Yeah, All Madden, I think it's called.
All right, 888-900-3393. Right when our 2-week break began, Senator Joe Manchin delivered us a nice little Christmas present. He said he'd be voting against Joe Biden's Build Back Better plan, and that he would not be intimidated by the radicals.
Oh, Merry Christmas.
Check this out.
Surely we can badger and beat one person up. Surely we can get enough protesters to make that person uncomfortable enough. They'll just say, okay, I'll vote for anything, just quit. Well, guess what? I'm from West Virginia. I'm not from where they're from, and they can just beat the living crap out of people and think they'll be submissive. Period.
Okay. Wow. You know what? He's been kind of a surprise. I really hope he sticks to his guns, because a lot of times they don't, but he's been, pretty solid. And it's hard in the face of all the pressure that he's getting from the president and every other Democrat around him. That's got to be, he has to feel like the loneliest man on this planet. Because this just doesn't happen in the Democrat Party. You don't have people with common sense anymore in leadership in the Democrat Party. They're all communists, except for Joe Manchin and Kirsten Sinema. Meanwhile, Joe Biden sat down before Christmas and apparently he's a little confused between pills and tests.
Oh, boy.
And there are some other issues with this.
The answer is, I wish I had thought about ordering 500 million pills 2 months ago before COVID hit here.
But we're nearly 2 years into this pandemic. You're a year into the presidency. Empty shelves and no test kits in some places. 3 days before Christmas when it's so important. Is that good enough?
No, nothing's been good enough. But look where we are.
Full stop.
When last Christmas we were in a situation where we had significantly fewer people vaccinated.
What? Well, of course, we're a year later with the vaccine, dumbass. What a weird. But a year later, we have more people vaccinated. Than you did a year ago?
Yeah.
Okay, that's your big victory?
Trump wasn't getting needles in arms, was he? Yeah, I moved that, needle, didn't I, when I got in office? I mean, they weren't available, man.
Right.
Oh, he has got nothing.
I mean, it just became available a year ago.
Yes.
Right? It was a year ago.
It was like the first of the year.
Yeah.
I remember right at Christmas, there was some old guy in the UK rolling up his sleeve.
That was the first one to get the vaccine.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I think we could all agree when Biden said, what'd he say? Nothing's been good enough. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Let's go, Brandon.
In fact, let's watch this from the beginning again, because this shows continued confusion on the part of this guy.
The answer is, I wish I had thought about ordering 500 million pills 2 months ago before COVID hit here.
I wish I thought of ordering 500 million pills. Well, that's a lot of pills to be taking. You better consult your doctor before you you do that. 500 million pills might not be the wisest move for him to make.
That might be what he's required to take every afternoon to stay cognizant.
It might be. Might be. So then he admits nothing's been good enough. Let's see that.
We're nearly 2 years into this pandemic. You're a year into the presidency. Empty shelves and no test kits in some places. 3 days before Christmas when it's so important. Is that good enough?
No, nothing's been good enough.
Wow. The end. Yeah. Stop. Full stop. Gut check. Full stop. He's exactly right. How many times have we ever agreed with Joe Biden?
I like that.
I mean, we absolutely are in complete agreement.
Common ground.
Nothing he's done has been good enough. That's for sure. Wow. What an amazing admission.
Of course, I don't want to give him or the federal government the green light to do more.
No, I don't either.
Please don't hear what we're not saying, bro.
Wow. Obviously, he's not happy with the results. Very few Americans have been vaccinated so far. Listen to how many. He talks about how many. This is right before Christmas, I think he was talking about how few people have been vaccinated.
Those 40 unvaccinated adults have a good chance of getting COVID-19.
40.
And some of you will get very sick.
There's only 40 unvaccinated. So that's pretty good then.
Okay.
I don't know what are they complaining about?
Right.
There's only 40 people who are not vaccinated. There you go.
Wow, we're in a club, man.
Wow, we are in a very exclusive club. Out of 330 million of us, only 40 are not vaccinated.
So then,
that's a pretty good record, I'd say.
Then they need to back off.
Yeah, leave us alone.
We obviously have spoken. Oh,
jeez.
Man, this.
He's bad. He's so bad.
I mean, how do you put a number? Like, seriously, how do you put a number in the teleprompter for that guy?
I don't know. Quite really, I don't know because he never gets it right. I don't know if they spell it out. I don't know if they're writing it numerically. But no matter what they're doing, apparently, it's not working because he can't deal with it. I guess 40 million, would you think, aren't vaccinated? It's got to be more than that.
I saw something. It's from the CDC, I believe it was, printed in the New York Times. So obviously you can trust both of those entities.
Sure. That
suggested that 85% of adults in America have received at least one dose of the vaccine.
85%?
Yes. And people didn't believe me. I found it. I screenshot. I put the link up there. I don't know. This is a week or so ago. So I guess only 15% of adults
have not been vaccinated at all.
And a third of Americans, I believe. So because you count the kids and stuff, have not received anything.
That's an amazing percentage.
Yeah.
And a percentage that in the beginning, before all of this nonsense occurred, they would have said, we get to 85%, that's going to be full immunity. That's going to be herd immunity. If you can get to 85% of people vaccinated, you're pretty much done.
Yeah, and that's where they started in the 60 range, right? 60% or something
60
like
or
that?
70, yeah.
That was Fauci himself. But as history has shown, and another montage will show again today,
it's not enough.
Well, not only that, but Fauci changes everything. The goalposts are constantly moving with him and so many.
Absolutely. He also said, Fauci just said that he doubts that we will ever not fly with masks on anymore. So if you're on a flight, on an airline, and it's 2032, you're still going to be wearing a mask. In the mind of Anthony Fauci, I can't believe that. I mean, even if this thing continues like that, there's no way Americans are going to put up with that forever. Is there? I can't imagine it. But that's what he's told us. From the 2 weeks to flatten the curve to this thing never ends. It just perpetually.
That's exactly right.
Keep perpetually moving the goalposts. And they're going to keep doing it.
Hey, Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year.
2022 is going to be just so
even better, I think, than 2021 was, if that's possible. Do you think that's it's not even possible, is it? Such a great year.
Yeah.
All right, let me tell you about Moink, because if you're looking for the best beef, chicken, poultry, pork.
Don't forget the salmon. You always forget
the salmon. Oh, the wild caught salmon. This is not farm salmon,
It's not toilet fish.
No. This is salmon that's been caught in the wild. These are the salmon that the bears haven't eaten. This is the most delicious meat that you're ever going to get your hands on and your teeth into.
Yeah, the interns for Moink actually go out there and wrestle the bears for this fish.
That's a little known fact.
Yeah.
That's not in the copy, but we happen to know it's true.
That's right.
Sign up at moinkbox.com/unleashed to get a year of filet mignon for free, and then pick what meats you want delivered with your first box. And the filet mignon, just had this over break. Oh, so delicious, so tender and tasty. You're going to love the ribeye. You're going to love the filet mignon. You can almost cut it with a fork. It is so tender and so delicious. Join the Moink movement today. Go to moinkbox.com/unleashed right now, and you will get free filet mignon for a year. That's 1 year of the best filet mignon you'll ever taste, but for a limited time. Spelled MOINK box.com. moinkbox.com/unleashed. That's moinkbox.com/unleashed.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
And welcome to it. So here's how the White House celebrated Christmas with unmasked dancing nurses. It's just genius.
This is grotesque.
Really
The tree before my spirit falls again.
And some got mad. Look at this.
How come everybody has a mask but her?
Yeah.
Did they realize maybe covering up people's voices isn't ideal?
Wait, she doesn't have a mask.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
Oh, Jill doesn't have a mask. She doesn't have a mask.
That is really weird.
Oh, the George Washington shot. No, come on, stop it.
Embarrassing.
In all
It's
seriousness,
embarrassing.
I would rather live in the idiocracy world right now as opposed to this.
Oh, we've definitely exceeded
Oh, my.
idiocracy.
Help me. I didn't anticipate, Corby, that he would want to keep playing this video so long.
This is the greatest nation in the history of the world, and this is what we've been reduced to.
That sums it up. Oh, I'm gonna be sick.
Gosh.
I will vomit today. Within the hour. I can't.
It's atrocious on so many levels.
So many.
Okay, I can't do it another second. I can't do it. Thank you.
You made it a lot longer than I anticipated.
Oof. It's just, you just had to let it soak in. Again, this is the nation that has really revolutionized this planet, and this is where we are now. That's embarrassing. That's really embarrassing. On Christmas Eve, the Bidens, like their White House set went to the...
Oh, yeah, they've got this fake set for everything.
Yeah.
For everything. Everything. And so they did the NORAD thing, where they...
The Santa Claus thing where they're
take
tracking
calls.
Santa.
Yeah, where's Santa now and all this stuff. Yeah.
And here's
So
what
a
happened.
dad
I hope you
calls.
guys have a wonderful Christmas as well. Merry Christmas, and let's go, Brandon.
Let's go, Brandon. I agree. Hey, by the way, are you in Oregon?
Wait, what?
Wait, are you in Oregon?
Let's go, Brandon. I agree.
Now see.
So you agree with F. Joe Biden? You agree with that? That's great. There's another thing on which we can all agree.
Look at this.
We've come, wow,
the
that's
new year.
Twice in the first 20 minutes of the first show of the year.
2022, the year of harmony and solidarity. So, okay. Now that's two Americas right there. You got the dancing nurses, insanity, just grotesque. And then you got the guy telling the leader of the nation to go blank himself on national TV. I mean, that's America right there. That is the America I can get behind. Now, so they had somebody was recording that dad on his end, and here's what it looked like in his living room when he called.
Yeah,
me.
I hope you guys have a wonderful Christmas as well. Merry Christmas, and let's go, Brandon.
Let's go, Brandon. I agree.
I love that.
Let's go, Brandon. I agree. Could it be that he honestly doesn't know? Still, at this point, he doesn't know what it is. He doesn't know what people are chanting everywhere he goes. Yeah. People are yelling that at him. Are you telling me he doesn't know?
Well, you know Jill knows.
She must.
What am I doing here?
Yeah. In fact, there's a billboard. I'm sure it's in numerous places. I've seen it at least at one place where it shows Jill on a big billboard, and it says, please stop calling him Brandon. He's starting to think that's his name. And he agrees.
Does.
And he agrees.
He agrees.
He agrees with the sentiment. So,
man, he's actually polling in the latest Gallup poll below Kamala Harris right now. Surprising polling results come from a poll in which just over 800 randomly sampled adults were interviewed by phone between December 1st and 16th. So Supreme Court Justice John Roberts earned the highest approval rating.
I saw that.
Get out of here.
I mean, this guy is John Roberts is getting what he wants. He just wants to be popular.
Yep.
He doesn't care about the Constitution. He cares about popularity.
Yes.
So congrats to him on winning this poll.
It's about his popularity and his legacy. And so he's at the top with 60% approval. I'm among the 34% who do not approve of the job John Roberts has done. Then we got Fed Chairman Jerome Powell at 53% approval. Followed by, get this, Anthony Fauci, still at 52%. He's still above water, approval-wise, 52-47. He's 5 points above. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken is at 49%, 49-43. Merrick Garland, same. House Republican leader Kevin McCarthy, 46-49. He's underwater. Kamala Harris, 44 to approve, 44% approve, 54% disapprove. Chuck Schumer, 44% approval, 53% disapproval. And then you come to Joe Biden, 43% approve, 51 disapprove. Again, this is a Gallup poll, so one of the main polls that people have watched for decades. The only ones lower than Joe Biden were Nancy Pelosi at 40% and Mitch McConnell at 34%.
So Joey B now finally below Kamala, right? She was at 44, he's at 43.
Right.
So if that disparity becomes, wider, you think they make a move to try to replace him? Or do you think that it's built in? They're going to give him at least the 2 years? Because we're almost to a full year now. And
yeah, I think they're going to try to ride this out, I think. But they don't want him to run next time, that's for sure. They don't want him for 2024. And I think they'll primary him if he does run.
Well, Jerome Powell is popular, though. So, I mean, seriously, you're calling people Gallup and you're asking them that. How many people are like, oh, yeah, love that guy. He's charging money stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
Sure.
Yeah, the Fed chairman. What do you know about him? For 95% of Americans, almost nothing, probably, right? Nobody follows the Fed chairman, including really us. We don't talk much about the Fed chairman. We've talked about the Fed movement, but we don't talk about Chairman Jerome Powell very often. Has that ever come out of our mouth?
Now, if you ask the question on Anthony Blinken, if you mention Afghanistan when you ask that question,
oh yeah,
I'd like to see that number then.
Yeah, because Afghanistan, just an absolute abject disaster.
But like Biden said, that we have found common ground this morning. Nothing's been good enough. Joe,
that's for sure.
There's your show title, boys.
Nothing's been good enough. Joe Biden, nothing's been good enough. That's so great. 888-900-3393. Also at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. Biden's judicial nominee, Nancy Abdudu.
Wait, stop.
A-B-U-D-U. Abdudu.
I have not. For what? What's a nominee? I've not heard
Deputy
this at all.
legal director at the SPLC was nominated by Joe Brandon to serve on the United States Court of Appeals. So Nancy's been nominated for the Circuit Court of Appeals in the 11th Circuit. It covers parts of Alabama, Florida, and Georgia. Abudu has a long history of extremism, starting with a stint at the ACLU that stretched from 2005 to 2019, as well as her stint on the discredited Southern Poverty Law Center. Abudu says that voter ID laws and proof of citizenship are voter suppression.
All right.
And really, to a certain extent, that's really true, because we are trying to suppress the vote of people who shouldn't be voting. You know, it's like laws that forbid stealing are theft suppression. Yes, we're trying to suppress theft. And with the vote, we're trying to suppress the illegal votes from people who shouldn't be voting because they're not citizens here. And yet these people who have these extremist ideas, and the Southern Poverty Law Center is just as extreme as you can get. They continually are nominated by this guy, by Brain Dead Joe. And one after another, he just doesn't care. And this was the guy who was supposedly a moderate. At least during the campaign, he was the moderate choice. I mean, we tried to tell everyone, this guy is not a moderate. He is one of the worst progressives in office in the last 50 years. Don't buy into the fact that he's a moderate, because he's not. And here we are stuck with him, trying to get communists into the banking system, trying to nominate this woman for the circuit court. It's agonizing. It's agonizing. 888-900-3393. Also, Pat Unleashed on Twitter. Something else that's agonizing that happened over the break. ESPN is still lying about the Bubba Wallace noose situation. They tweeted out a clip with the caption, "Last year, a noose was found in Bubba Wallace's stall at Talladega Superspeedway," as they were promoting an upcoming E60 special, which is a proven lie. It was not a noose. It was exposed as not a noose. Even CNN admitted it wasn't a noose, but ESPN still sticking to that story. Unbelievable. As much as ESPN wants you to think Bubba Wallace was a victim of a hate crime, he of course wasn't. The FBI quickly found no one put a noose in Wallace's garage. Instead, it was a rope to help open the garage door, and had been in the stall for a long period of time.
Yeah, but who's going to watch a documentary over a garage door opener?
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, I don't think garage door openers get good ratings.
Jeez.
Pat Gray on the Blaze Radio Network.
Some tweets here. Carl Smith tweets, President Biden says if he's in good health by the next presidential election, he'll run again in 2024. Do you really think he'll get better by then? Rowdy introvert. Nice to know that there are 39 other adults out there. Comfort in numbers.
Oh, look at that. that. Mm-hmm. So it's me, you, and Rowdy Introvert. So we got 3 of the 40 have been
That's
named.
right. Jimmy Dimples, only 40 unvaxxed left, and I'm one of them. Here's another one. There's number 4.
Okay.
I feel like the last survivor in a zombie movie.
Yeah, that's the truth.
Pelosi's kente cloth. A year into Biden's presidency, his staffers are still giving him numbers to screw up in speeches. It's political malpractice. I'm starting to wonder whether someone in his inner circle is doing it on purpose. You do have to wonder what's going on. Mm-hmm. Stop with the numbers. If you can't do it, wouldn't you? If you really like this guy, you believe in his policies, you work for him, wouldn't you do everything in your power so that he doesn't screw up? And when you see him screw up every single time there's a number involved, you stop putting the numbers in it.
I think that it used to be that backstage they were sweating bullets, panicking, did you get all the numbers out of this speech? Did you get all the numbers? And now I think this person's right. It's probably just a game now. Let's
it might
see if
be.
we can make the old man screw up again.
And from Jeffy's Meat Sweats, 104 years into the flu with countless deaths, but we're told you must restart flu deaths to 0 every year.
Yeah.
2 years into COVID, and the death odometer still won't roll over.
That's a great point.
It's almost as if it's political. No.
Oh, come on, Pat.
No,
Stop.
come on now. Come on.
What? No. By the way, you were talking about the Bubba Wallace.
The noose
in the garage.
Mm-hmm.
Over the holiday, the old man was out on the beach with Dr. Joe Biden, and he is wearing a mask. I'd like to point out she's not, and they're
on the beach.
They're on the beach with their little puppy.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna actually take the time to train this one, I'm sure. And what is he holding? Why would you be out there fully masked, of course?
but with a noose.
With a noose? Don't tell me that's a leash.
Is that a threat against Bubba Wallace?
Yeah, I don't want to hear any excuses. People are like, no, it's a leash. It's a leash. Shut up.
Shut up. That took some time to make.
Thank you.
That took some serious time to do it that way. Come on now.
Look at that.
Where's ESPN on this?
That's egregious.
The noose in the hand of the President of the United States threatening Bubba Wallace.
Yeah, right?
Where are you on this, ESPN?
Didn't like to see that. The man is the leader of the nation. And set an example.
I wouldn't be surprised I would be surprised because it's Biden, so they wouldn't do that. But ESPN has been so bad. They're almost worse than CNN because they shouldn't be doing any of this in the first place. In November, ESPN's Jalen Rose announced on NBA Countdown that in 2020, the police had shot and killed an innocent man, Jacob Blake. First of all, Jacob Blake is not dead, and he wasn't innocent. The police shot him after a woman who Blake had sexually assaulted called the police on him. And then when police arrived, Blake had a knife in his possession, refused to drop it, so they shot him. In April, ESPN's Mark Jones interrupted a live NBA game to say the police shot Blake while unarmed, even though, of course, as we just mentioned, he admitted to having a knife. 3 weeks later, Adrian Wojnarowski spread the same lie about Blake in a column that ESPN edited, posted, and promoted on its homepage. Mark Jones tweeted that police are more likely to murder black people than protect them. Okay, an obvious asinine statement. Richard Jefferson said Kyle Rittenhouse crossed state lines with his AR-15. I mean, the garbage that's coming out of ESPN, and they're never called on it. They're never fact checked on any of this stuff. It's getting more and more difficult to watch ESPN. If it wasn't for the fact that they carried a football game, they carry the football games that my team is playing. I mean, what are you going to do? Seriously.
Well, I mean, hold on a second. You actually put your money where your mouth is so that you wouldn't have to sit there and watch ESPN for the BYU game. You braved the elements. You went to Shreveport, Louisiana, sat in a driving cold rain to watch your team get their butts kicked.
In a lovely city, too.
So that you wouldn't have to see it on ESPN.
That is true.
You put your foot down.
I did.
And you suffered because of it.
Greatly.
Took one for the team.
Yes.
Well, literally.
Have you ever been to Shreveport, by the way? I
have driven through it so fast.
Beautiful.
It is
especially
this
time of year.
Right.
Beautiful.
I can just see grime and casinos.
Casinos, yes. Yeah. That's interesting. I've been to New Orleans and I don't remember seeing the casinos there. Are there casinos in New Orleans?
I don't know that they're in New Orleans. They're down in Biloxi, Mississippi.
Huh.
And they're up there in Shreveport.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know that they're...
I don't think there are in New Orleans.
They're too busy being terrible. Yeah, it's just a gross town, man. They don't have time for fun casinos there. But did you get to do it? Because I know you're a big gambler. Right? Right. So
yeah,
did you get to do the?
Well, we went into one of the casinos because there was a restaurant in it that we wanted to eat there, and it was it's amazing. Yeah. And there's smoking allowed in there.
That's I can't.
And that's the thing that stuck out most to me because everywhere you go here, there's no smoking, and so you don't have to put up with that smell. Yeah. I mean, you walk into there and it almost chokes you to death. Because if you're not used to it, it's really, really prevalent.
Yeah, if
there's more smoke than air.
Right. And it's fascinating, like growing up as a kid, there was smoke in my house growing up, and then, you move away, you go to college, you come back, and then you walk in, you're like, whoosh. Oh, this is the smells of childhood.
That's what it smells like.
Yeah, so that's probably what it was like at the old casino, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Very much so.
Yeah, I always
but a ton of people in there losing their life savings, so that was good.
See, and I always thought
people.
It would be easier for me to lose my life savings at a casino if they would have a smoke-free gambling section. For those of us that only want to participate in one vice at a time, okay?
Right.
So, let's get on that. Let's make a smoke-free casino, or at least a section, so people like me don't have to rush my...
Yeah, because you would probably like to hang out at the casino for a while, from time to time, right?
Yeah, me and the blue hairs, man. We'd just be sitting there, ching, ching,
It's another thing we noticed. Very much a blue hair type of place.
Yeah.
Yeah, not a lot of, 21-year-olds in the casino pulling down on that slot machine arm.
Yeah.
No, I'd say the 65 plus.
My track record at these places is not good.
I don't think anybody's track record at those places is good.
Yeah, I mean, I know how to. Man, I got stories. I've got stories, Pat, about the Las Vegas airport. I did win $300 playing bingo, though. My mom and I played bingo once, and
$300.
I cleaned up. And
way to go!
I don't think the old people were happy that the outsider was visiting town and busted up their game and walked away with the grand prize.
Damn whippersnapper!
Yeah, come on,
beating us in bingo, and I won't have it.
Yeah, a couple of biddies followed me out of the parking lot.
Have it
with their canes.
Did they? Yeah.
They're like, you get back here! I know that was rigged. It's quite a day.
All right, 888-900-3393. Hey, the mRNA creator, Dr. Robert Malone. We've talked about this guy a few times before.
Yeah.
He was on with Joe Rogan discussing the next fight our society is going to face on the COVID front.
Such a great interview with he and Mr. Rogan.
Now, they're trying to discredit Joe Rogan like crazy. It doesn't matter that they're lying about the things that he has said or the things he took when he had COVID-19. They continue to call it horse paste. And he even called out Sanjay Gupta on his show.
Yeah.
And asked him why he didn't, protest any of that at CNN when he knows that that's not the case. And he admitted he knew that wasn't the case. And still... Gupta didn't do anything about it at CNN.
And it's not just Joe Rogan who's getting, they're attempting to discredit, I'll say. Robert Malone, the subject of this clip that we're about to play, I mean, that guy
a revered scientist until now.
He's got credentials as a doctor,
Yeah, he does.
covers the basis of everything. He got pulled off of Twitter. He got kicked off of there.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, so, and no explanation, of course, because they never do. It's just that when you have dissenting opinions such as his, as we'll illustrate here, you've got to be silenced. And boy, social media working overtime, Google working overtime to crush the voices that aren't lining up with the government.
And here's why. Here's what he had to say.
There's two hills that I'm willing to die on. One is stopping the jabs in the children, and one is, resisting the erosion of free speech, which is the fundamental principle on which our democracy and our society, civilized Western culture, is built on. I like to say when I give rallies, do you remember back a couple of years ago when you felt sorry for the people in the People's Republic of China because their internet was filtered, they weren't allowed free speech, their government told them what to do and think? Okay, now here we are. Okay, and the next thing that we all feel sorry about, social credit system. Okay, wake up, folks. Wake up.
Yeah, and they're already talking about implementing something like that in Britain. It's here, and it's terrifying.
Yep. Also from the same interview, he's explaining the similarities between 1930s Germany and Western civilization today.
From basically European intellectual inquiry into what the heck happened in Germany in the 20s and 30s. Very intelligent, highly educated population, and they went barking mad. And how did that happen? The answer is mass formation psychosis. When you have a society that has become decoupled from each other and has free-floating anxiety and a sense that things don't make sense, we can't understand it, and then their attention gets focused by a leader or a series of events on one small point, just like hypnosis, they literally become hypnotized and can be led anywhere. And one of the aspects of that phenomena is the people that they identify as their leaders, the ones typically that come in and say, you have this pain and I can solve it for you. I and I alone, okay, can fix this problem for you. Okay, then they will follow that person through. It doesn't matter whether they lie to him or whatever. The data are irrelevant. And furthermore, anybody who questions that narrative is to be immediately attacked. They are the other. This is central to mass formation psychosis. And this is what has happened. We had all those conditions. If you remember back before 2019, everybody was complaining, the world doesn't make sense, blah, blah, blah. And we're all isolated from each other. We're all on our little tools. We're not connected socially anymore, except through social media. And then this thing happened and everybody focused on it. That is how mass formation psychosis happens, and that is what's happened here.
And how profound is that? That anybody who goes against the status quo now is immediately attacked by everybody else.
Yeah, and that phrase
immediately
that he used there, the mass formation psychosis, that was trending all weekend on Twitter. And it became such a popular discussion to have that Google manipulated searches. Steve Kirsch, I believe, did this article on Substack where he showed how Google was manipulating the search results of that phrase, how DuckDuckGo would show you the Dr. Malone clip and some really good articles, whereas Google had some like gamer talking about it, knew nothing. It was just so blatant what Google was doing.
Had a gamer talking about it?
Yeah, and the way Kirsch pointed out is that the ratings for this link were so low, it made no sense why it would be such a popular search result on Google. Anyway, so
they are so
desperate to stop this.
Desperate.
Yeah.
And transparent. They're not even hiding it anymore. That's the thing. These major corporations don't even try to cloak what they're doing. They don't care. I think everything's gone so far now that there's nothing you can do about it, and so they just go ahead and do it right out in the open.
And Twitter, of course, in the past they've taken Donald Trump off. They took Robert Malone off. They took Marjorie Taylor Greene off.
That just happened over the weekend, right?
Yeah. And one thing that came out of this interview, which is fascinating, if you get a chance, after you're caught up on all of the Blaze podcasts here, go and listen to this Joe Rogan with Dr. Robert Malone. And one thing that came out of it is they were talking about Getter, the other app that's kind of like Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
And Joe Rogan got on Getter after this conversation with Robert Malone. And so there has been quite a mass migration to Getter in the last 24 hours since
So it's going to be Getter instead of Parler?
Yeah, I think so.
Is Parler pretty much done now?
I think they really lost their momentum with that
yeah, kind of seems like it.
Plug being pulled, yeah.
Yeah. That can't happen to Getter?
I don't know.
Who? I remember reading about who started that, but I can't remember now.
That's a great question.
Yeah. Just because I want to remember, and now it's topical and relatable, and of course, so I can't remember who it is that started that. But we'll look into that. I wonder how many people have made the switch. I mean, it's probably at least thousands, if not hundreds of thousands by now, with Rogan jumping over there.
Oh, gosh, I don't know how many. Yeah.
No doubt a considerable number of people.
Yeah. So is Pat Unleashed going to get over there?
Yeah, I think we should have a presence there. Yeah, probably.
And we can call you Mr. Getter?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
It's a little premature now since we're not even on it. But soon I'll be holding that title.
All right.
888-900-3393. Also, we got to tell you about Kamala Harris's Kwanzaa memories, which are so powerful and beautiful. Get into that. And AOC's hypocrisy, which is great. Going to dinner in Miami, Florida over the weekend. Great to have you with us. 888-900-3393. Also at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. Got some tweets here. Kara3022 tweets, those working to shred our Constitution and fundamentally transform the U.S. are the same evil outraged over 1-6. Remember Obama in 2010. Reward our friends and punish our enemies. Unrepentant capitalist tweets, clearly the POTUS is not carrying a noose while walking his new dog. It's obviously a whip, like the Border Patrol carries.
Oh, no.
Brandon's loose lug nut. ESPN, the exponentially socialist propaganda network.
Oh, I like it.
I like that too. By the way, we have the chart.
Oh yeah, the chart that I
from the CDC.
Okay, yeah. So I mentioned that 85% of adults have received at least one dose of the vaccine.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have that graphic available? Check that out. Look at that.
There it is.
Ages 18 and up, 85% have received at least one dose. Fully vaccinated adults, 73%.
That's both of those huge numbers.
Yeah, if you do all ages of Americans, 73% have received at least one dose. 62% are fully vaccinated.
Okay, so that includes children, which is ridiculous. You shouldn't have to include children. They shouldn't even be getting vaccinated.
Especially when they shrug off COVID for the most part, far and away, like it's nothing at all.
Yeah. More die from the flu than have died from COVID. So 85% of adults are at least partially vaccinated, 73% fully vaccinated. That is incredible. That's incredible. I never thought we'd get to those numbers, but
it's not good enough. It's not good enough, man.
It's not, and it's never going to be. They're just going to keep pushing this thing. 888-900-3393. Let me share something really warm and tender with you because
good. I love that stuff.
Kamala Harris put out a beautiful video for the holidays with her memories of the holiday season.
Oh, okay, cool.
And yeah, just so touching. Yeah. I thought we'd share it with you.
Happy holidays, everyone.
Thank you.
I wanted to take a moment to send my warmest wishes to everyone celebrating Kwanzaa.
Oh, that's
like
so many people.
So many other holidays.
So many.
We will be celebrating Kwanzaa a little differently this season in our home.
Yeah.
We'll be doing it over Zoom.
Over Zoom, okay.
You know, my sister and I, we grew up celebrating Kwanzaa.
Of course you did.
Every year.
Every year. Of course you did. Kwanzaa was such a well-established traditional holiday.
No.
That, of course she did. She was born in 1964. Kamala was. And Kwanzaa was invented in 1966, 2 years later. So it had been long established by the time she was, it was just invented by the time she was 2, but well established by the time she was 3. And I'm sure they were steeped in the tradition of Kwanzaa.
Oh, sure.
Every year thereafter.
Yeah. And I will say the thing that is really upsetting this year is that the Kwanzaa season really seemed to fly by. You know it?
Yeah, it did.
Like you get that one candle of hate whitey lit, and before you know it, 7 days are gone.
Right?
I just really
unbelievable.
Yeah,
that's unbelievable.
Family in our extended family, we would gather around across multiple generations.
Yeah.
And we tell
Beautiful.
Stories. The kids would sit on the carpet, and the elders would sit in chairs, and we would light the candles, and of course afterwards have a beautiful meal.
A beautiful
And of course
meal.
there was always the discussion of the 7 principles.
Well, the 7 principles,
and my favorite,
obviously.
I have to tell you, was always
her favorite
the one
was
about self-determination, Kuji Chagalia.
So
and you know, essentially, it's about it's about be and do. Be the person you want to be, and do the things you want to do, and do the things that need to be done.
And the things that need to be done.
It's about not letting anyone write our future for us,
right?
But instead going out and writing it for ourselves.
That's be and do. That's what it is. That's what it's all about.
Be and do?
Yeah, be and do. 2 of the really important Kwanzaa themes that we've all celebrated for so many years. So many years.
See, so her favorite one is Kuji Chagwalia. My favorite one is Ujima.
Ujima?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's not be and do, though, right?
No. And the reason I selected that one is
Mm-hmm.
because it's the only one that I can even remotely pronounce.
Okay.
And it means collective work and responsibility. Which doesn't sound communist at all.
Not at all. Collective work. No, that doesn't.
Either does Ujama, cooperative economics. That doesn't sound communist at all.
I got some ujamas for Christmas.
Little Tommy John ujamas?
Yeah. Really nice ones.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
Okay. Good for you.
Yeah, thank you.
So how many of the candles did you light?
14.
14?
Yeah.
It's only 7.
I went the 7. I did the 7 twice because I love it so much. It just wasn't enough after 7 nights, so we had to do it all over again. It was beautiful.
It's twice as much Kwanzaa celebrated in the Gray household.
Yeah.
See, what I was getting at when I started asking you, how many candles did you light? I was going to ask you how many did Jackie light? Did you have the kids light one each night? Oh, no, you did 14 all on your own. That's selfish. That doesn't seem to be the spirit of
Kwanzaa?
Umoja, unity.
Dang it.
I mean,
Darn.
that's...
Well, it was be and do. I was being really excited about Kwanzaa, and I did light the candles.
Right, under the spirit of Kumbha, which is creativity.
Right. There's not a single person alive who believes that she celebrated Kwanzaa every year. Get out of here. Ugh, such garbage.
No, and in fact, she took that deep, long pause. My favorite is...
what's it called?
It's the
I know
the
we
one
went
where
over this at the meeting.
Yeah, the Kuji Chagalia Niner. She doesn't stop.
No way. Come on.
Stop. Okay.
It's a made-up African holiday, right?
It's an African American holiday that was seeped in racism.
Yeah.
As far as admitted by the founder, who wanted a holiday for little black children because don't be like Whitey. Oh no, don't celebrate Christmas. We got to have our own thing here.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. It was. Yeah. I mean,
since when did Christianity become a white thing? Never. By the way, never.
Yeah. And there is a quote that I'm not finding off the top of my head, but I mean it's so clear of what the intent was of this holiday.
It's to separate us, to divide us. And, it's so interesting to watch the segregation become a good thing and the integration become a bad thing now. Wow. How did that happen? How did everything that Martin Luther King believed in, how did all of that get flushed right down the toilet? It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, the person who created Kwanzaa says, quote, "It was to give blacks an alternative to existing holiday of Christmas and give blacks an opportunity to celebrate themselves and their history rather than simply intimate the practice of the dominant society." Check this out. Here we go. "You must have a cultural revolution before the violent revolution."
Oh, nice.
The cultural revolution gives identity, purpose, and direction. So that's the meaning of Kwanzaa.
It's just unbelievable.
Unity.
Wow. 888-900-3393. Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez was spotted dining in Miami Beach, Florida on Thursday, according to a tip received by National Review. On the same day that her native New York City reported a record number of COVID-19 cases. Photos obtained by National Review show Ocasio-Cortez seated outside this restaurant, this Duraku Sushi and Izakaya in Miami Beach Thursday afternoon, raising a cocktail in one hand and checking her phone in another.
Look at that.
That's beautiful.
There they are. Yay.
She's there with her boyfriend. So I thought that, Florida was so evil because they're not restricting everybody's movement.
Right.
And they're not being safe about COVID-19. And you have to have the passport in New York City to go to a restaurant. But so what's she doing in Miami?
Yeah. And this was pointed out a lot on social media.
Pointed out a lot.
Yeah. I mean, the COVID cases, I think Steve Deace pointed out that they are higher now than they were New Year's Eve of last year by long shot.
Record high numbers, yeah.
Yeah, record high number. And people were pointing out that she was ripping. So obviously New York City is in a state of crisis, right? I mean, that's what the city says. I mean, oh my gosh, one thing after another. And yet she was ripping Ted Cruz for going to Cancun when Texas was so cold in February.
Right.
So there's that hypocrisy. But she's fun. No, she tried to spin this like it was the most pathetic attempt.
Yeah. Here's she was talking about how really this is about Republican men who want to have sex with her, is what she was basically saying. Wait, what?
It's so weird, man.
Where did that come from? You talk about creepy and weird. She said if Republicans are mad, they can't date me. They can just say that instead of projecting their sexual frustrations onto my boyfriend's feet. You creepy weirdos. What?
I don't know.
That is some weird stuff.
Just gut check. Stop.
Is that because did people comment on his flip-flops or whatever?
I think his sandals or something, yeah.
It's starting to get old, ignoring the very obvious, strange, and deranged sexual frustrations that underpin the Republican fixation on me, women, and LGBT plus people in general. What? These people clearly need therapy, won't do it, and use politics as their outlet instead. It's really weird. No, what's really weird is that people pointed out your hypocrisy, and so you decided they wanted to have sex with you. How bizarre is that?
Someone's trying too hard.
Yeah, somebody thinks way too much of themselves. Like she's every man's fantasy or something. How weird is that?
It was also pointed out that she can afford these trips to South Florida.
Yeah.
But yet she complains that she can't afford to pay back her student loans.
Right. Yes. Another good point.
Huh.
I love the comments that people posted after all of her babbling about sexual frustration from Republicans. Do you know how insanely arrogant AOC must be to assume that all men find her attractive? It's according to Daily Wire editor Ian Hayworth. Bold move when people disagree with my policy positions or call me a hypocrite. I tell them they just want to F me as well. Yeah, you just want to have sex with me. That was comedian Tim Young. People are fixated with you for being an entitled, hypocritical, socialist, lockdown-happy vaccine mandate hoe while vacationing in the free state of Florida. You just suck as a person and as a public servant. That's really the extent of it, according to Dave Rubin.
I like that one.
That's great
That's
stuff.
a good take right there.
This from Joe Pags.
Oh, yeah.
Ew, you're literally being called out for your blatant hypocrisy and you're making it about dating you or having sex with you. Only screwing involved here is what you're doing to your constituents. They live by mandates in New York City as you're free and liberated in Florida. It's sick.
Yep.
That's great. From Candace Owens. You just want to have sex with me is potentially the filthiest, most immature response I've ever heard uttered from an elected official that's facing critique. She's quite literally creating a Republican sexual fantasy about herself. Amazing. Just a reprehensible human being. 888-900-3393. Let me tell you about Keeps. How will you know when you're ready to do something about your receding hairline or your bald spot? When you're fixated on it. Like, instead of fixating on dating AOC, you're fixating on your bald spots and that kind of stuff. Then, it's time. So what do? That part is easy. You go to Keeps, keeps.com/Pat, and you order the hair loss. First of all, you just answer a few questions online, and you post some pictures of your hair. And
simple process.
Then which you have gone through.
Yeah. Simple process, man.
Not only did it stop hair loss, it started hair regrowth on top of your head.
In fact, this is what is so telling about how well Keeps works is that I hesitate to take my hat off to demonstrate because underneath this, it's just unkempt and vacation mode still.
Yeah.
So I got too much hair going on there. It's like.
I mean, that's amazing, though. That's really something. And the great thing is, if you have any questions along the way, you get confused or you don't know something, you can message your Keeps doctor 24/7. You can also track your progress with their progress tracking tool. And to get you started, we got a special discount. Go to keeps.com/Pat. You'll get 50% off your first order of hair loss treatment. Keeps.com/Pat. Welcome. 888-900-3393. Also at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. Get this. Interesting little statistic.
Ooh, I like that.
Over 95% of reported cases of the Omicron COVID-19 variant in Germany occurred in fully vaccinated individuals. 95% were fully vaccinated.
Well, you know what that means.
That means this is a pandemic of the unvaccinated.
Oh, wait.
That's what that means. A full 5% of people contracting this disease in Germany are unvaccinated.
Running around,
spreading it all over the place.
Spike protein all over the place.
Man. The paper published on December 30th by the German agency Robert Koch Institute included information on the vaccination status of 4,206 individuals who contracted the latest variant. 4,020 people who reported contracting it, which equates to 95.6% actually of total cases. So it's almost 96%.
Wow.
Had received at least two doses of COVID-19 vaccines. 28% of the Omicron positive group had also received a third dose or booster shot. Just 186 people contracting Omicron were unvaccinated in the entire sample, showing that vaccinated individuals were over 21 times as likely to contract it.
Wow.
What?
Hold on a second.
How weird is that?
No, this is fun because I alluded to the Steve Deace tweet. I found it here where he talked about in New York City, where AOC obviously flees over Christmas break. 80% of the residents are double jabbed or more. New York City ended the year with more patients in ICU with COVID than it had on New Year's Eve 2020. Jeez. Then, also this fun fact, speaking of AOC fleeing New York City alone has, cases per 100,000 in the last 7 days, 2,485. The entire state of Florida, 1,186. So, New York City, 2,485. Florida, the entire state, 1,186. Where there's no mandates.
Jeez. Wow.
where the government isn't micromanaging every aspect of this.
Yep.
But it's the pandemic of the unvaccinated.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and that stat you just read right there, you read that again about the 20 times more likely there?
Vaccinated individuals were over 21 times as likely to contract the COVID-19 variant.
21 times more likely if you're vaccinated
than non-vaccinated.
According to this study.
Yeah.
You've got to hear Rochelle Walensky from the CDC over the weekend here. Check this out. Listen to this clip here.
What I can tell you is that you are 10 times more likely to have a case of COVID if you are unvaccinated compared to if you are vaccinated and boosted. You are 20 times more likely to die of COVID if you are unvaccinated compared to if you're vaccinated and boosted.
So 10 times more likely to get it if you're unvaccinated. Sounds
20 times more likely to die.
Sounds not the same as
it doesn't.
The study out of Germany.
It sounds completely the opposite as what's going on in Germany, at least with Omicron. That might be true of the Delta variant. I don't know, but I mean, just the fear-mongering is pretty amazing. They continue to fear-monger here. But this German report also cited about 7,000 other cases. And in 6,788 of them, information on the symptoms was provided. And this is on Omicron. Mostly no or mild symptoms were reported. 6,788 cases out of 7,000. 124 patients was all that were hospitalized. And 4 people died. Wow. I mean, how do you make that into the most frightening disease of all time? Somehow they keep managing to do it. The data, which appears to show that vaccines confer no advantage to preventing against contracting the Omicron variant, follows pharmaceutical companies reaching record high levels of lobbying efforts in America, both financially and in terms of hired personnel. Amidst heavy censorship of those criticizing the side effects and adverse reactions to the COVID-19 vaccine, the National Pulse has also revealed leading pharmaceutical giant Pfizer's conflicts of interest with social media platforms, including Facebook and media outlets like Reuters. The report also follows many cities, including New York City and Washington, D.C., rolling out vaccine mandates to prevent the spread of the Omicron variant. The Biden White House also has pursued a federal vaccine mandate despite courts blocking the measure and had floated the possibility of requiring the jab for all domestic travelers on airplanes.
I told you it's coming, man. It's coming.
That's going to suck.
Yeah, so we have clips we can get to Fauci, alluding to...
Yeah, let's see what Fauci had to say about that.
Okay.
About the vaccine mandate for flying.
Okay.
Is that what this relates to?
Well, yeah, but I mean, 2 days later he changed his tune. So I don't know what you. Let's play the one where he's talking about.
Yeah, let's play them both.
A vaccine requirement for a person getting on the plane is just another level of getting people to have a mechanism that would spur them to get vaccinated.
What?
You can't get on a plane.
It's not even about
unless
health.
You're vaccinated, which is just another one of the ways of getting requirements, whatever that might be.
Okay, so that's what he said, first of all, right?
Yeah.
Then what did he say?
2 days later.
Anything when that comes up as a possibility, we put it on the table and we consider it. That does not mean that it is going to be likely to happen. Right now, I don't think people should expect that we're going to have a requirement in domestic flights for people to be vaccinated. When I was asked that question, I gave an honest answer. It's on the table.
Honest answer.
He jumped the timeline.
Yeah.
He didn't follow the plan.
So, as always, I spoke out of both sides of my butt there.
That's true.
And that's what I always do.
Yeah.
And that's why you hear both sides of every issue from me.
Did you hear that, though? He said anything that gets people vaccinated, motivated to get them vaccinated, like this. It wasn't about health. People are sick. And Biden says, hey, if my health team suggests we do vaccine passports for air travel, then I guess we'll do that. I mean, we're...
Amazing. Amazing.
Pat Gray on the Blaze Radio Network.
Welcome. Great to have you with us. 888-900-3393. Also at Pat Unleashed on Twitter.
God makes some interesting creatures. We were just talking about the platypus, for example, off the air. Isn't that weird?
It is weird.
The animals that God makes that just look weird.
It's really weird, yeah.
What's the deal
really
with the platypus?
All right. Robbers hit a high-end store in Palm Beach, Florida in a smash-and-grab heist. And there have been so many of these. So this smash-and-grab heist netted them over $1 million worth of items.
Whoa.
13 one-of-a-kind Hermes handbags valued at a total of nearly $1 million were stolen from Only Authentics Boutique in Palm Beach. And several of these bags, these are purses worth $100,000 or more. $100,000 for a purse? Wow. I mean, I knew that they could get really expensive, $1,000, $2,000, $4,000. $100,000 for a purse?
That's
wow.
That's a lot of money to be spending on a purse.
Yeah. And in this day and age, maybe you don't put them in the storefront, windows, where they're right there and you can just smash the windows, grab the bags, and leave. Because that's what's going on all over the place. And I think a lot of law enforcement agencies are trying to get these stores to not do that. Don't put your really expensive stuff up in the display case right in front where the windows face the street. Not a good idea anymore.
Because I guess the people that have $100,000 to spend on a purse are going to know to go to that store. It's not going to be an impulse buy. Like,
right.
Whoa.
Well, look at that. Yeah. I'm going to stop in here and buy me a $100,000 handbag. That'll be great.
I mean, the irony is if I saved up for a $100,000 purse, it's like, then I wouldn't have any money to put into said purse. It would just be there.
Right. Yeah, you'd have to live in your purse, which is difficult.
Does this thing stop the rain? Because I had to mortgage my house.
Yeah, if you just put it over your head like that, it would stop the rain pretty well.
Okay.
I don't know. They better start doing something about these smash and grab things, or there's just going to be a lot of businesses that aren't in business anymore.
Joe Biden's America, huh? Isn't that fun?
Joe Biden's America. Yes, indeed. And he was, after spending the last 2 years saying that his administration and the federal government would stop COVID.
Okay. What?
Here's what Joe Biden said last week.
Look, there is no federal solution. This gets solved at a state level.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. Then why do you keep doing the mandates?
So
why do you keep talking about mandates?
So are we done? Like no more speeches, Brandon, on COVID, or no more mandates or Vaxport talk or anything like that on a federal level?
Well, you would think that that's what he was saying, but his actions don't really back that up. Here he is also talking boosters.
Oh, neat.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you about what we heard from Israel overnight. They're already moving forward with a second booster now. So this would be the fourth shot for people 60 and older and for frontline medical workers. Is that something you're considering?
I listen to the scientists, and I'm sure the scientists are paying very close attention to that. There may be a need for another booster, but that remains to be seen.
So it remains a possibility.
It remains a possibility.
Sure. Everything's possible. The fourth booster, and then the fifth, and sixth, and seventh, and so on.
Okay, well, you're flipping ahead in the book that's been planned out for us here.
Right.
Need to stay.
I guess I shouldn't, right?
Yeah, stay.
Yeah. Stay in just the front of the book.
Yeah, stay on the page that we're currently reading. Don't jump ahead.
All right.
What a mess.
It is a mess. It is. And, if you were to travel down memory lane a little bit and remember what all of these people were saying, all the public health experts talking about the COVID-19 vaccines and what they were going to mean and what they were going to do. Remember these
during 2021, we should be able to manufacture a lot of vaccines, and that vaccine, key goal is to stop the transmission, to get the immunity levels up so that you get almost no infection going on whatsoever. Everyone who takes the vaccine is not just protecting themselves, but reducing their transmission to other people and allowing society to get back to normal.
We can kind of almost see the end. We're vaccinating so very fast. Our data from the CDC today suggests, that vaccinated people do not carry the virus, don't get sick.
Now we know that the vaccines work well enough that the virus stops with every vaccinated person. A vaccinated person gets exposed to the virus. The virus does not infect them. The virus cannot then use that person to go anywhere else. It cannot use a vaccinated person as a host to go get more people.
Really good.
Yeah.
Really
that
good.
Means
that means
the vaccines will get us to the end of this.
Essentially, vaccines block you from getting and giving the virus.
Fully vaccinated people
Fully
are
vaccinated.
at a very, very low risk of getting COVID-19.
Right.
Therefore, if you've been fully vaccinated, you no longer need to wear a mask.
When people are vaccinated, they can feel safe that they are not going to get infected.
We have all the vaccines we need. We just need our people to take it. A, for their own protection, for the protection of their family, but also to break the chain of transmission. You want to be a dead end to the virus. So when the virus gets to you, you stop it.
You just
stop it. You don't allow it to use you as
good.
the stepping stone to the next person.
It can't go
I
anywhere.
think given the country as a whole, the fact that we have now about 50% of adults fully vaccinated and about 62% of adults having received at least one dose
in June.
As a nation, I feel fairly certain you're not going to see the kind of surges we've seen in the past.
If you're vaccinated, you're not going to be hospitalized. You're not going to be in an ICU unit, and you're not going to die. You're okay. You're not going to get COVID if you have these vaccinations.
Well, that's great. Well, okay. In Germany, 95% of vaccinated people, 95% of the people who just came down with COVID-19, the Omicron variant, 95% of them were vaccinated.
We've already established
fully vaccinated.
That this was the 5% running around.
Yeah, who are spreading this
Thank
thing
you.
all over the place.
Okay.
Bastards.
Finish your thought next time. I don't want to have to drag you into it.
Right. Thank you. Thank you for that clarification.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's important.
So that was our experts as recently as July.
My gosh.
Saying, hey, man, it's done.
You're a roadblock now if you've been vaccinated. Bam! You stop it cold in its tracks. The vaccine just ran into a bridge abutment. Bam! And it's dead. It just dies right there with you. So, but you won't die. Just the vaccine, just the virus will. So,
right.
We got that going for us.
Right. Let's be clear. Only the virus is going to die if you get the vaccine.
You're not good. If you get the vaccine, then that means you might live forever. Nothing will ever kill you. And you can never, ever go to the hospital. You'll never get sick, and you won't die. So that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Oh, that's a bargain.
Yeah. Except none of those things apply, of course, anymore. We've found that, I don't know what seriously, I don't even know what the overall ratio is of vaccinated people getting infection. Is it even 50% anymore? Is it 40% of the fully vaccinated people that don't get this? What is the percentage now? Because it's certainly not 94 or 95% that don't get COVID-19 if you're vaccinated.
Yeah, the montage they told us 100%.
Yeah.
What they said.
Right, they did.
Dead
Bam!
end.
bam, it's a dead end. You just kill that thing.
Dead end for some people.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, in New York City, the NYPD has been out enforcing that city's Vaxport nonsense.
Oh, good. You gotta keep the law and order, right?
You do, yeah. Well, there was a little boy who was trying to celebrate his birthday at a McDonald's, but I don't think the kid had. I don't think he had a mask on.
Let's see here.
Did he? He's trying to kill people.
Oh, look,
look at that.
That's cute that the police show up to wish the kid a happy birthday. Is that what's happening here?
No, that's
not it.
That's not it. Okay. Look, they've surrounded the table.
Wow. Scaring a child, traumatizing a child.
Jeez.
Hope you feel good about yourself,
officers
NYPD.
does it take? Okay.
Look at that! Look at how many cops are there.
Madness.
This is disgusting. This is gross.
You guys failed us last night. You failed us last night.
Wow. Oh, the poor kid. Look at him.
Yeah.
Holding on.
Traumatized.
To his mom.
You failed us. We're here for you.
Another victim of this.
Now, is this because they're not vaccinated or they're not wearing masks?
They're not vaccinated.
Okay. How do we know that?
Because when you come into the restaurant, you got to show
the Vax Passport.
Now, I remember hearing that NYPD wasn't going to enforce this necessarily, but they have definitely been enforcing it.
They got the whole police force in there enforcing it.
Right. Yeah.
Like this is a table of Middle Eastern terrorists or something.
Yeah, they're plotting their next attack on the city there. Yep.
That is amazing.
As hold on, I gotta find this tweet. Hold on.
So are they gonna actually escort them out of the McDonald's?
Yeah, and next time we're gonna arrest you.
My gosh.
You leave voluntarily, all right, you will not be pressed. There are not charges pressed against you. Otherwise, you will be arrested for trespass.
There you go.
All right? This will be your only warning, please.
Okay.
Warning, yeah.
Yeah, you guys must be
a child crying is
real
funny,
proud.
right, for you?
Yep.
Wow.
And that's what he said. There won't be charges pressed upon your name. I mean, almost verbatim, right? Hold on. I'm trying to find this tweet from the Libertarian Party of Minnesota because it's worded beautifully. But basically, they said that your taxes, that's the price you got to pay to have kids escorted out of restaurants. You know, that's your tax dollars at work there. And that's exactly what that is, man. These cops that are put in these positions, I hate it for them. But at what point, if you wear the badge, and I'm talking to you cops out there listening, at what point do you like, that's unlawful. I'm not going to violate people's freedoms.
Yeah, right.
Doing it.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what? Show me the law that you're enforcing right now. Show me that. Show me the law that is being enforced, because there isn't one. You know, the New York legislature did not pass a law stating that you can't go into a restaurant without a vaccine passport. That was a mandate from the stupid mayor of that city who's not even in office anymore.
Yeah. Taxes are the price we pay to have police throw 5-year-olds out of restaurants.
Wow.
That's the tweet.
And that's sad but true. Jeez.
But that's New York City. There are sane parts of the country that still remain.
Sheriff Mark Lamb, Pena County, Arizona, talking about law enforcement and what they should do in this era of COVID mandates.
Hey folks, Sheriff Lamb out here in Arizona. So this video may touch some nerves, especially from some people in my profession, but I think it needs to be said. I continue to watch videos where people are being kicked out of restaurants, and sometimes by force. I just watched one in particular where a young boy and his family were being asked to leave a restaurant. Clearly the boy's distraught. Very sad video to watch. Multiple police officers standing there, which what I believe is probably because the family wasn't vaccinated, asked to leave the restaurant. The only way that these ridiculous and unconstitutional mandates and orders, which are not laws, are going to continue is if you continue to enforce them. So I'm asking my brothers and sisters who put on this badge every day to have the courage to say no.
Thank you.
Have the courage to stand up for the people and have the courage to stand up for what is right. God bless and stay safe.
That's nice. That's nice. He obviously was watching the same video we just did.
Yep.
And was a little bit put off by it, as he should be. And like you said, I thought the NYPD said they weren't going to enforce these mandates. Wasn't that what we heard?
I heard that early
Maybe
on.
Was it a different city and a different police department? I thought it was New York City Police Department. But there they are. I mean, there were, 7, 8, 10 cops there enforcing.
But we're starting to see a lot more videos like that coming out of New York City. Now they have a new mayor. I don't know if things are going to change now, but he started on the job on Saturday.
Eric Adams.
Yeah,
Eric Adams was on his way to work on day one and encountered an issue and had to call 911 about it.
This. Look at this. He's calling to report an assault.
Yes, I'm at Broadway in Kosciuszko, and I have an assault in progress of 3 males. Yes.
There you
I'm
go.
sorry?
Welcome to the job, sir. Enjoy your city.
That's how weird is that? First day, he's on his way in on the train, I guess, and calls in an assault. 3 men beating up a woman.
Golly.
Jeez.
Okay.
888-900-3393. Biden says if his medical team advises it, he will issue domestic travel vaccine requirements. And then he said that he was done with the vaccine requirements, or the federal government shouldn't be doing that. That shouldn't be a federal thing. It should be done by the states.
Yeah. Fauci skipped ahead. Remember?
Yeah.
He screwed up.
Yeah.
He uttered it too quickly. Oh, crap. I was reading from the wrong handout from my overlords. And then the message didn't get to Biden in time before he made that comment. And so, now you got to issue another memo and make sure everybody's on the same page before y'all talk again.
I got to get their memo straightened out.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's starting to become embarrassing.
Yeah,
for
y'all
them.
get on the same page here. I'm sorry that your overlords are in another time zone, the other side of the planet, but they need to know when the business day begins over here. Make sure everybody's reading the same release.
And last week, the CDC updated the Omicron booster numbers while nobody was looking.
Oh, yeah.
Center for Disease Control and Prevention significantly revised its model of the breakdown of COVID-19 variants.
Yes. Yeah, remember Omicron was going to rule us all.
Yeah, it's going to be terrible.
And they said it was going to be, like 73% of cases are Omicron.
That's what they said on December 18th. 73.2% of cases nationwide. They've revised that down just slightly from 73.2% to 22.5%.
So it went from 73 to 22.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a kind of a significant drop.
He's had to tweak the numbers, Math is not... It's not everybody's strong suit.
No, that's right. That's right. The agency's current model suggests that the Delta variant still represents 41.1% of U.S. infections. CDC updates the model weekly, setting aside the question of how the initial estimate was so inaccurate. If the CDC's new estimate of Omicron prevalence is precise, then it suggests that a good portion of the current hospitalizations we're seeing may be driven by Delta infections, which makes sense because apparently the Omicron virus is the variant is pretty mild, and sometimes people aren't even getting symptoms at all from it. And if they are getting symptoms, again, they're mild. So,
well, they're good at this.
They're really good
at their job.
In other words, they don't have any idea. What's going on?
They can't predict months out. They said that the vaccine was going to stop this thing in its tracks. Now they can't model out a week ahead, but they'll get it right eventually.
And this is over 2 years now because it started we started hearing about it in December of 2019. So now it's January 2022. A little over 2 years later, and they still know very little about this thing. They really don't understand it. They don't know anything about it. And they proved that. I mean, we showed you what they said about the vaccines before we really knew what was going to happen with the vaccines. The vaccine was going to completely prevent the disease, and you're just going to be a roadblock to it. I mean, they don't dare utter that kind of stuff anymore because it's just not accurate.
And yet they expect you to trust them, believe them. They are changing society around mandates and the vaccine and forcing employers to compel you to get this shot that they don't even know what it does.
Yeah.
And once it's inside your body, I mean, come on. What was the, oh my gosh, let me see if I have this here. I don't know where it is. But somebody was asking, I think it's a great question. It's this government that is compelling you to get this injection if you want to remain employed effectively. They don't require this for handouts from the government, like for welfare checks? What is that all about? I mean, if it's for our own good and our health, then why aren't you compelling people that are receiving handouts from the government?
Pretty good question. Yeah, really good question. And they've even, I don't know if they've convinced President Trump to start talking about this or if he just wants to, jump back in and take some credit for it. But he was on tour with Bill O'Reilly. Yeah. They were doing a multiple city tour and kind of a comedy thing. And a little discussion. It's like what Glenn and Bill used to do.
Yeah.
And President Trump decided to discuss the vaccine and the boosters during this
was going
thing.
to ravage the country far beyond what it is right now. Take credit for it. Take credit for it. What we've done is historic. Don't let them take it away. Don't take it away from ourselves. You're playing right into their hands when you sort of like, oh, the vaccine. If you don't want to take it, you shouldn't be forced to take it. No mandates, but take credit because we saved tens of millions of lives. Take credit. Don't let them take that away from you.
Okay, so the president made news.
Do you agree with that? Right?
Okay. Yeah, they'll agree with that.
The president and I are vaxxed, and did you get the booster?
Yes.
I got it too. Okay, so...
Don't. That's all. There's a very tiny group of it.
Yeah, very tiny group. I think that's a much more significant group than he'd like to admit.
Yep, it's going to be an interesting primary, isn't it?
Apparently, he was really hurt by that, according to Bill.
Booing?
That bothered him.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah, it bothered him.
Yeah.
And he's trying to give them the credit for it when really he wants the credit for the shot. Because he did bring it about.
Well, what he could have done there, he could have avoided offending anybody. And if Bill asks him a question, you just say, I'm not going to discuss my my health situation here. I don't think it's appropriate that we get into, and he turns it into a personal choice issue for everybody. Yay!
Right.
And then move on.
Except he's proud of it.
Correct.
He's proud of it.
And he's going to make sure that we hear about it. And that's why I say that Republican primary...
be interesting.
It's going to be very interesting.
Very. Yeah. Be interesting to see if he's in it and people use that against him. 888-900-3393. Use that number tomorrow when we will be back here again with you. Thanks for being here. 888-900-3393. That'll be the number to call tomorrow.
2022 already feels better, doesn't it, Pat?
Yeah, doesn't it, though?
It's just so good now.
Everything's fine now.
Yay.
Everything's fine.
Pat Gray, only on the Blaze Radio Network.